A senior lecturer at the Department of Economics of the University of Ghana, Dr. Osesibe, suggests what he terms a sequential approach to moving the economy out of the woods.
Much as these policies are great, these policies have the potential to transform the productive sectors of the economy. We have to be mindful of the fiscal burden that will place on the country in every given time. And so we have to have a much more sequencing approach, gradualist approach.
But Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta believes the government has policies that will make up for the nearly 1 billion cedi shortfall occasioned by the tax cuts.
There's really nothing magical that we've done. It is things that the NDC government also wanted to do, and the issue is that we are lucky to have the political space. So in being able to cap the statutory funds, it literally releases about 5.5 billion cedis, which you can then take back to social interventions, take some towards reducing your debt, and therefore any government to have a bit more flexibility in how they effect their policy.
While describing the 2017 budget as a good one, senior partner with PwC, Vish Ashabo, calls for implementation.
The challenge that we see is one of effective implementation, because let's be honest, a lot of what we've seen in the budget, there are some very good new initiatives, but the fundamentals really have not changed. And as a country, where we struggled before is with how we implement. We have the ideas, we have the human resources, but the implementation somehow has never quite come together.
The 2017 budget offers some immediate reliefs for some sectors of the economy. However, the overall national economic impact is what many cannot wait to see.
Customers of United Bank of Africa UBA can now use their MasterCard to transact banking business on their account anywhere in the world. This follows the launch of the UBA MasterCard in Accra. The managing director of UBA Ghana, Mrs. Abiola Bewa, said the move is to give customers an alternative choice, and the MasterCard provides an added layer of security when make purchase online. United Bank of Africa UBA set its foot on the Ghanaian soil about 8 years ago with a focus of providing world-class and customer services driven by innovations. Since that time, the bank has extended its branch network to 27 across the country. On the wings of this branch expansion is innovation and customer-centered products like electronic banking, current and savings account, UBA cashless account, corporate current account, money transfer, and other investment portfolios. The MasterCard introduction is another way by UBA to offer customers secured banking services at their fingertips. The UBA MasterCard is a debit card issued on a cedi account. Therefore, customers can travel anywhere they want, stay wherever their heart desires, and shop online as much as you could with the card. The card offers customers the convenience of paying for their purchases directly from their bank account without having to carry any cash. The area business head West Africa at MasterCard, Omoke Odebanjo, said the card will help to reduce the circulation of liquid cash in the Ghanaian economy.
When MasterCard looks at ourselves around the world, the biggest competitor is cash, because as you see, for most of us, electronic payments is still new and growing very well, but 85% of transactions around the world is still in cash. So if you ask me who my competitor is, it's cash.
The managing director of UBA Ghana, Mrs. Abiola Bewa, said UBA is positioning itself to become a preferred e-banking bank in Ghana.
In UBA this year, we have declared customer first, and it is in line with this declaration that the MasterCard is also coming behind it. We are saying that, look, don't get stuck with just one of our products. You have the option. And you don't necessarily have to carry the two. You can choose and say, look, I don't want Visa card, I want MasterCard. You also have the option to say, look, I want both. And one thing we are doing to make sure we meet our target is also to look at what the government just came up with. the mode of payment that the government wants to promote. This is one of such payment modes. So we are going to discuss with the government, we are going to discuss with the Ghanaian populace to let them know that, look, the most convenient way of payment is through the Visa and the MasterCard. If you have an issue on your card whilst out there, it takes you just a call away, and we make sure that we answer you.
UBA says the MasterCard is available only on CD current or savings account, valid for 5 years from the month of issue. On the level of security, the card requires a personal identification number for all transactions, which makes it difficult for any fraud activity. The Advertising Association of Ghana has presented the Advertising Authority Bill to Cabinet for approval and onward transmission to Parliament for consideration and passage. According to the President of the Association, Mr. Joel Nete, the bill, when passed, will bring standardization in the advertising industry.
The Advertising Authority Bill has been very slow in its process to become law. To fast-track the passage of the bill, the Advertising Association of Ghana has made an effort to present it to Cabinet to relay it before the new Parliament. The President of the Association, Mr. Joel Nete, believes the bill, if passed into law, will ensure sanity in the industry.
That bill is a document or is a law when it gets passed that will regulate this industry. It will tell us what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. It will tell us what the punishments are for people who go outside of the law.
Information Minister Mr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid raised concerns about the irregularities in the advertising industry. He assured the Association of Government's commitment to the passage of the bill.
The advertising industry and environment is unregulated. People are citing billboards all over the place. People can just go and sit in a corner studio, record something and put it on radio as advertisement. We agree with them that we would help them to get the advertising bill passed into law, so that for once we can sanitize the advertising environment in Ghana.
Other issues discussed was how to rebrand the country to attract foreign investors and tourists.
You're welcome to the health segment. Government has been implored to invest in kidney screening to enable patients detect early signs and symptoms of kidney failure. The initiative to donate a kidney to save a life remains the focus of this year's World Chronic Kidney Disease Day. Meanwhile, some patients who are currently on dialysis at the police hospital are pleading with government to place treatment for chronic kidney diseases on the National Health Insurance Scheme. Sarah Ofori has more.
World Kidney Day is a global campaign aimed at raising awareness of the importance of kidneys, the preventive behaviors, risk factors, and how to live with a kidney disease. In Ghana, about 10 to 12 people present with chronic kidney diseases daily at the hospitals. At the police hospital in Accra, the senior nurse in charge of the dialysis unit, ASP Ruby Elegbe, says they receive a new case of chronic kidney diseases on a daily basis.
Usually, when they are on dialysis, the kidney is supposed to produce a hormone that will help in producing red blood cells, erythropoietin, but they don't have it. They have to take injection. It's expensive. They buy that 2,000 Ghana cedis. They have to be buying other drugs to help, and iron to help boost their hemoglobin. So once a while, they are giving blood transfusion. These blood transfusion, as they are taking blood transfusion, they are building antibodies against new cells. So if the person takes transfusions, the tendency that when the person is transfused, the person gets a kidney, the body can reject it because the body has already formed soldiers against any foreign material that comes to the system.
Diabetes and high blood pressure are key risk factors for chronic kidney disease, and so it is important for medical professionals to endeavor to detect and reduce the risk of chronic kidney disease, particularly in high-risk populations. A minimum of 600 cedis is required a week to undergo dialysis.
For a person to even start the dialysis, you need not less than 3,000 Ghana cedis, because we will have to pass a temporary neckline, which we will use for about 6 weeks. So when the temporary line is passed, you will be referred to Kolibu Cardio to go and get a permanent line, which is an artery and a fistula joined together, and we'll have a pool of blood where we can access the line for your daily dialysis session.
Sometimes patients are transfused with blood to boost their hemoglobin, but that also poses a risk. Hence, a transplant is required.
A lot of Ghanaians are dying from this chronic kidney disease just because they are not having people to donate for them. So I'm calling on Ghanaians that we should donate our kidneys. We can perfectly live with one kidney. So if your kidneys are okay and you have a relative or a close, usually they want a spouse or a close relative. If your relatives are suffering from kidney disease, please, we are appealing to you, help save lives, because a lot of people are dying. Some even have money to undergo the transplant, but no donor. Some people even write letters that when they die, they can take their kidney. So we can also start doing that. And small, so I think it will catch up. Everybody will get the good news and we will start.
On the occasion of World Kidney Day, the patient had one wish they hoped will become a reality.
Yare na tete nso eya na yiniska nti hia mo afia ban ho ene ankure nso se omo beboaye patro for dialysis nso ka health insurance ne ho emaye.
What is our researchers doing about how to know what is the cause of the kidney? Because more people are getting it every day. So how are we doing to know exactly the cause of it so that we can save the others?
I'm saying that today being World Kidney Day, we pray that they look at the cost involved in treating this type of sicknesses and maybe put it on the National Health Insurance scheme for us. It will help.
Out of 9 dialysis equipment at the police hospital, 4 are broken down, placing undue pressure on the facility. Governments are encouraged to take action and invest further in kidney screening, as a routine kidney function test is also being encouraged among the population. Sarah Fori, GBC24, Police Hospital, Accra.
Time now for the sports side of the news. My name is Benjamin Willie Graham. Let's start with the first story. President Akufo-Addo says the government will help revive all less financed sporting disciplines to unearth talent for the country. The president was interacting with the delegation from the Ghana Boxing Authority at the Flagstaff House.
The visit by some officials of the Ghana Boxing Authority and some former boxing greats in the country was to formally invite the president to the upcoming World Boxing Council WBC World Title bout this weekend. The championship, dubbed the Freedom Fight Night, is to mark Ghana's 60th anniversary. The president of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Mr. Peter Zwenis, appealed for support.
For the past 4 years, since we were elected into office, we have tried our very best to source sponsorship. It has been very difficult. Corporate bodies are very reluctant to come to our aid. But I can tell you, if His Excellency the President, as I've always known him, directs the sports minister to tell Nestle that they should sponsor basketball, to tell Guinness that they should sponsor badminton, to tell GMBC that they should sponsor boxing, I believe that there will be no hesitation on their part. Thank you very much.
President Akufo-Addo recalled his love for the pugilistic sport as a young boy. He promised to support the revival of the sports that have little financing in the country.
Our country abounds with sporting talent across all fields. Unfortunately, in the last few years, it has begun to seem as if only football was the only sport in which we were good at. But it is not true. We've had outstanding talents in athletics, in boxing, table tennis, all across the world. We've had great champions. And it's time that we nurture all the talents in our country to make it possible for people who have an ability and a talent in these other disciplines also to emerge.
3 Ghanaian world title prospects, Richard Kombi, Duke Micah, and Frederick Lawson, will face crack European and North American challenges in this weekend's international title bouts. The stage is set for action at the Bukum Boxing Arena.
Okay, so let's move on to other sports where the Royal St. Regatta team are winners of the Ghana 60 Independence Day Kayak and Regatta Challenge Cup. They finished the 5,000 marathon with a time of 12 minutes and 25 seconds to pick gold. So they are followed by Kamiko from Ada and Rianko from Keta.
The Ghana Rowing and Canoeing Federation partnered the Royal St. Hotel to organize the first national championship christened Ghana 60 Years On Independence Challenge Cup. The event, which will become annual, saw athletes exhibiting their skills in 2 water sports events, a kayak and a regatta championship. It attracted 3 main teams, namely the Royal St. team, made up of athletes from the Gamashi area, Team Kemiko from Ada, and Team Rianku from Keta. Team Senchi opened the competition with a win in the first kayak event, a 500-meter event. Next was the individual event. In the first 200-meter heat, the Okronipa brothers, Emmanuel and Ebenezer, were a delight to watch as they finished first and second under 1 minute. In the 200-meter regatta event, Team Rianko from Keta came first with a time of 0.45 seconds. Royal Sechi came second with 0.47 seconds, with Team Kemiko from Ada next with 0.49 seconds. In the second heat for the kayak event, Dada Akli beat Enoch Grantin and Kabute Okronipa under just a minute, 0.45 seconds. Then came the most anticipated event on the day, the kayak marathon. The race was from the Adome Bridge at Atimpoku to the Royal St. Hotel. The distance was approximately 5,000 meters. The host team, the Royal St. took a commanding lead and beat off stiff competition from Team Kemiko from Ada and Rianko from Keta. The Royal St. team finished with a time of 12 minutes and 25 seconds. Team Kemiko came second, with Rianko finishing third. The special guest of honor was the Apremuhene or Denihon Kwafwa Koto III. He promised to raise a team to popularize the sport in the country.
I'm very happy I took time of my busy schedule, came here and witnessed this wonderful event. And next year, a team from Akwemu is representing, because we have the resources here, the river is here. I don't understand why people should come from Osu and Kita and Gamashi and things to come and compete, whilst we have it right here. I promise Royal Sinchi that next year I am presenting a team of Akwemu to compete. This is very thrilling and very, very wonderful. We are very, very happy.
The first West African Aviation Director for the Gold Coast, Dr. Kwesi Dugbati, encouraged the youth not to give up on their dreams.
Child growing up during Independence Days, this is an example of what I wish and pray each of us will follow. In other words, you aim at doing your best for your brother or your sister, because when she or he is comfortable, you will be comfortable.
Prizes ranging from medals, trophies, and cash prizes were presented to individuals and teams. The Best Athlete Award went to Ebenezer Okronipa. The overall winners were Team Royal Switch. Executive Director of Royal Switch Hotel and Resort, Kwame Afero-Yeboah, said they will make next year's event bigger.
Ghana, we've always done football. I mean, that has been our concentration. But then there's a lot more to sports than football. And we realized that water sport is one of the low-key events because it doesn't have the right opportunities and exposure. So we thought as management that it's better to to push something like that, because sports is complete, it's not just football, there are so many other things. You can see how exciting this was. Look at the regatta and the speed and how exciting it was. So there's a lot that Ghanaians can look forward to than just football, which has always been breaking our hearts anyway, which is why Senchi decided to help project.
Officials of the Ghana Rowing and Canoeing Federation said thank you to their sponsors and promised a revival of the sport in the country.
Now let's do some football news where Ghana moved up 2 places to 43rd in the latest FIFA ranking released for the month of March, but remained stagnant on the continent. Last month, the Black Stars profited from their semi-final place at the 2017 African Cup of Nations to move 9 places up. Egypt continued their surge by moving 3 places up to 20th spot and remained the highest ranked team in Africa. So this was after FIFA took into consideration only 4 A international games. Now, South American heavyweights Argentina and Brazil remain in first and second, while reigning FIFA World Cup champions Germany stay third. The top 20 are unchanged from February except for 2 notable exceptions. All right, so some basketball news now. And in NBA action, the Boston Celtics snapped a 2-game losing streak on Wednesday night with a 99-86 win over the Golden State Warriors at the Oracle Arena. Okay, it was shocking. It was historic. It was a bit surprising, though. So Barcelona last night recorded the greatest, we're going to call it the comebacks in UEFA Champions League history. They beat French powerhouse Paris Saint-Germain by 6-1. This means Barca has progressed to the quarterfinal stage on a 6-5 aggregate win. All right, so what a way to describe that. My name is Benjamin Willie Graham, so the news continues with Entertainment News. Bye-bye.
Thanks for staying on. Ghanaian-born British actor Hugh Kwashi says the content of most movies produced in Africa portray a negative perception of the continent to the outside world. Mr. Kwashi is a panelist on the role of culture and the creative arts in development at the ongoing African Diaspora Homecoming Conference. The conference started on the 5th of March 2017 and ends on the 11th.
My lord, would I might entreat your honor to scan this thing no further.
Hugh Anthony Kwashi is of mixed Ghanaian, English and Dutch ancestry. He is a British film, television and stage actor. He has played prominent roles in films such as Highlander, The Church and Star Wars The Phantom Menace. He portrayed Rick Griffin in the BBC medical drama Holby City.
That's not so good now! Oh, what if I said I had seen him do you wrong or heard him say? Hath he said anything? He hath, my lord, but be you well assured, no more than he'll unswear. What hath he said? Faith, that he did. I know not what he did. What? What? Lie! With her? With her, on her. What do you with? Lie with her, lie on her.
He was born in Accra, Ghana, to Emma Wilhelmina and Richard Kwashi. His family moved to the United Kingdom when he was 3. Hugh's big break into film acting started with 80s science fiction fantasy Highlander, and he went on to appear in another well-known space flick, Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. Hugh spoke to us about the Ghanaian movie industry.
My concern is that the stories that we are telling and how we're telling them. Let me just give you a little brief insight. I was watching the TV in my hotel room the other day. I just watched a glimpse of a Nigerian soap opera. And the stories that were being told there, as far as I could see, could have been shot in any country in the world. The characters, the story, the situation were not necessarily Nigerian. The style of acting was Nigerian because they had Nigerian actors, but nevertheless, these actors were, to my mind, observing the conventions that you see on American and British TV.
He advised filmmakers to tell African stories the African way.
I think we have some way to go to, as I say, to find our own stories and to find our own authentic way of making films. Years ago, Sembeni Ousmane from Senegal, he had his particular style of filmmaking. I think the most seminal film that has stayed with me was the Battle of Algiers, but that wasn't made by an African filmmaker. That was a Brazilian filmmaker, Gilo Pontecorvo, I believe. But the story was an important story and well told. It may not matter who makes the films, but I think the stories and the characters, first and foremost, have to be identified, and we have to take the risk that of funding these things. Sometimes it can take years to make a film, and it might not make any money, but somebody has to be prepared to take that risk.
Hugh Kwashi had considered becoming a journalist before he took up acting.
To be hanged and then confess.
That's all in this packet. Thanks so much for your company. Have a good night rest.